Get ready with me while I tell y'all the story of when my boyfriend had a stalker. So this story took place years ago, and my boyfriend had this like big group of friends, and a few of them were guys and a couple of them were girls. It was an eyelash stuck to this. So a couple of the guys were dating a couple of the girls in this group, except for this one particular girl who we'll be talking about. We're gonna give her the name Kayla. So Kayla had a best friend named Ashley, we'll call her, and Ashley was like dating one of the guys in the group, and Kayla was pretty much the only one that was single. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Ashley had a man, and so did, let's call her Kaylee. That's not actually even close to her name, but Kaylee also was dating a guy in the group. So, Kayla used to go everywhere with Ashley. They were like two peas in a pod. They would do everything together. And when Ashley wasn't with her boyfriend, Kayla would get sad when they were all in a group because she didn't like to see all the couples together. So Kayla was the type of person that she was very much like, I guess, like a pick-me. She always wanted to sit next to my boyfriend. Like, if they were in the car, he would, like, literally have to sit in the front seat no matter what, like, no matter who was in the car, because she would, like, force her way next to him and, like, hardcore flirt. And the funny thing is Ashley knew that he was with me, but, like, never really tried to stop Kayla. So this one time, after they were arguing about who was going to sit in the front, because my boyfriend wanted to sit in the front with Ashley because he didn't want to sit next to Kayla, they went to this like country bar downtown, and this is where shit the fan. So people are all dancing together and like having a good time, and all of a sudden Kayla gets all butthurt that no one is dancing with her, and she starts throwing a fit and like crying and just making a scene at this club. So she starts throwing a fit, like begging my boyfriend to dance with her and like totally like yelling, crying. And then Ashley starts asking him, can you please dance with her? Can you please dance with her? Like just so she would calm down. Like, girl, no, that's your friend. So he says no because she is like flipping out, and it's honestly really embarrassing at this point, and the whole group is getting embarrassed. Go to part 2. I'm running out of time and this story is like nuts. So Kayla's like freaking out in the middle of this like bar club type of thing. My boyfriend's texting me because this whole time I'm at work. And he's telling me, like, how she's acting and how Ashley's, like, trying to make her dance with him. So my boyfriend does not dance with her. He keeps telling both of them no at this point. So what does she do? She goes and runs out of this club into the parking lot and stands in the middle of the road. So at this point, Ashley runs outside and is trying to console her friend from, like, crying in the middle of the road. I know, it sounds ridiculous. But she's crying in the middle of the road, and everybody's, like, trying to console her. And my boyfriend is just not having it. Like, at this point, he's, like, ready to go freaking home. Like, he's texting me this entire time what she's doing, and Ashley got mad at him and was like, well, why didn't you just dance with her? So they all go home. She's all upset, and then this is the cherry on top of when I was like, had it with this friend group. Specifically, this one girl. So again, I'm at work when this happened because obviously they wouldn't do it when I would be there, and I actually never had met these girls because they shortly after these incidents had happened, they stopped hanging out. Like, he stopped hanging out with that group in general and only hung out with like one of the guys. But so they were at one of the girls' houses, and they were all drinking, and because the guys were a little bit older, these girls were like 19, I think, and so they were all hanging out, and they had a tattoo gun. So the girls are doing their own thing, the guys are playing like video games, whatnot, drinking, having a good time, and Kayla, I almost said her real name, goes ahead and tattoos my boyfriend's initials on her ankle. When I tell you, because he showed me a picture of it, that I was infuriated because Ashley did it too. I remember I got home from work and I was like crying and like telling my mom, and then like the next day at work I was like telling my boss and like the other girls I worked with, and everyone was like, no. The fact that Ashley even had a boyfriend and saw nothing wrong with tattooing another girl's man on her ankle was just beyond me. I also forgot to mention that at one point Ashley and Kayla and the other girl were trying to convince him to move in with them. Long story short, they're no longer friends anymore, and yeah, what do y'all think of that? That was something that I've always thought about, and it's like super funny now, but it's definitely like boundaries, but yeah.
So I don't think you should play games with guys, but if you do it on accident, it doesn't really count. Here's how I got this like anti-relationship guy to be into me through games on accident, truly on accident. I went to San Diego for a concert last week, and there was this guy there. It was very cute. I recognized him right away, but at any given time, he had like 3 girls talking to him and flirting with him the whole night, and as they should, because this guy's obviously very cute. But immediately when I see that, I am kind of turned off. By the grace of God, I do not like flirty guys. I like girlfriend guys, you know what I mean? Anytime he would talk to me, I would be in passing. I never tried to continue the conversation. Like, you know when you have a crush and you kind of like are anxious and trying to think of more things to say to keep them like standing next to you and talking to you? Never did that. At one point, he was like, thanks for coming. And I was like, of course. I had nothing else to say. Like, I let him talk to me instead of me talking to him. But then I get home, not even thinking about this guy, and then I realized I left my purse in San Diego. So I turned off my credit cards. I was like Googling how to get a new ID. And then I get a DM from the guy, and he let me know that he had my purse. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. Then he was like, I'm coming to LA tomorrow. I'll give you your purse. Let's get dinner. I was like, dinner? Me? It's not even like we like flirted at the concert thing. So, and I was honored because he had 3 girls with him the entire night. And not that they were like making out or anything, but like he was definitely being flirty, you know? So I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's a free dinner, but also you have my purse. Like, I don't want you to rob me. Also, I was a little bit, I'm gonna be honest, I was just a little bit scared of him looking inside my purse because who knows? Who knows what was in there? So then I stalked his entire Instagram, obviously, top to bottom. Then I Googled him and got to page like 12 on the Google results and realized that this guy is not a girlfriend guy. So immediately I was like, this is going nowhere. I mean, he lives in a different city and does just not give off the vibe that he wants a relationship. So going into this date, I was the least stressed I think I've ever been. Like, I didn't even overthink my outfit. I wasn't nervous at all. I just showed up and I was like, how are you? When I think about it now, I don't think I've ever been on a date where I haven't been like actively trying to get the guy to like me. It's as if I was like at dinner with one of my friends. So I ordered, I remember he said he wasn't hungry, but the waiter came and I was like, I'm hungry. So I got a huge plate of pasta and I ate the entire thing. The entire time, honestly, I was thinking about how dates are kind of awesome when you don't really, like, I was sitting there like eating I had a free plate of pasta, a free drink that was really good, and I was like loving it. And I was like, oh my God, also, I don't really know this guy that well. So I have a fresh new audience member to like make myself sound way cooler than I am. It is like an ideal night for me. I could do all my story times. It was so fun. A lot of dates I've noticed I don't really eat my food or eat anything because I'm kind of like nervous, you know? But on this date, I was eating, and that made me too busy to like fill any awkward silences. I left that up to him because I literally didn't care if there was an awkward silence because I wasn't worried about being perfect because I didn't care if this guy thought I was perfect. And I think that ended up making him, I could feel him that he liked me. He was like complaining about how he had been single for a while because he had been traveling a lot. And I was like, yeah. While I was eating my cacio e pepe, I was like, you should be single for sure. Like, that sounds like you should be single. And he was like, what? And I was like, did I say the wrong thing? I never thought like, oh, I'm gonna be the girl that like gets this guy to settle down. Which I think if I had gone in thinking that, then it would never have worked. And I wouldn't have seemed cool. I would have been focused on like where my arms were if I was holding my fork weird. And I think when you do that, it throws the vibe off. After the date, he like hugged me while I was getting in my Uber, and then he like kissed me, and I kissed him, and then I got in my car, and then I left, and then he texted me something like an inside joke about the date, and I forgot to reply. Not because I didn't like him and I thought he was cool, it's just like it wasn't like on my mind like, oh, I need to answer this guy right away. I don't know. I texted him a couple hours later like thanking him for bringing me my purse, and then he texted me and said like, you looked good tonight, and I just didn't answer that text. And then the next morning I posted an Instagram story and he replied to it and he was like, are you ghosting me? And he was like trying to be funny. And when I saw that, it stressed me out, so I didn't answer him for like 6 hours later. So I texted him 6 hours later and I was like, hey, I'm not ghosting you, this day got like away from me. And he was like, dude, when you didn't answer me, I started overthinking the way I kissed you all day long because I guess our teeth touched, and I was like, oh my, I didn't even notice that our teeth touched when he kissed me. I think it's just because I wasn't expecting him to kiss me at that moment. He was like, I just feel like I'm overthinking, like did I like kiss you the wrong way, or like should I have kissed you earlier in the date? Like, by the way, I didn't even notice like anything that he thinks that he did wrong on the date. It's just that like I was only like, I just had already categorized him in my mind that he was not a boyfriend type of guy, you know? But I have totally done that spiral in my head, like when guys like I don't know, like after dates, like I'm like, oh my God, did I do things wrong? Like, did I do this wrong? Like, you know? Moral of the story, all you have to do is decide someone's not gonna be your boyfriend, and then they will want to be your boyfriend.